Yeah, it wasn't necessarily about respect. It was just, he still has a lot of crack, for his age. He's still he was very explosive. He was very tricky, and I just wasn't, trying to make a mistake, by over committing on, on a shot that I wasn't sure of. But yeah.
Looking at the scorecards, the key was you swept the final 3 rounds on all 3 judges' cards. What did you tell yourself in those 3 final rounds?
Well, not only myself, my corner, they told me, I need to, they felt that I needed, to pick it up, just to ensure the victory. I felt like I had, I felt like I had edged out, the first, 5-6 rounds, but yeah, I did feel the need, to pick it up, and so yeah, that was the reason why the last 3 rounds for sure, I started picking it up.
Writer Mario, congratulations. There were a lot of people in the media section that thought that you won the fight. They did so pretty handily, actually. I wonder when you hear that, when you were going into the late rounds, like Lance said, you had to win the last 3 rounds. Did you feel like you were ahead, or did you feel like you had to catch up? And when I tell you that lots of people, with no particular dog in the fight, thought that he was the winner, do you understand why they might think that?
Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I feel like I won the fight, and I feel like, the last 3 rounds really solidified that. But, you never know what some people see or are looking for in the fights. But I feel I won, made my team feel, that we won, and, very proud of what I showed. And, I'm still just thankful to you holding my title. And, yeah, like I said, we're gonna keep things moving forward.
And if they did come to you and ask you if you would have a rematch, what would you say?
Oh yeah, by no hesitation. I feel like I don't have anything left to prove. I feel like if he wanted to run it back, that would be completely his choice. But yeah, I mean, I'm with it if that's what he wants.
Brandon, welcome to 210 Boxing TV. Over here, Mario. Mario, do you feel like there should definitely be do you feel like there will be a rematch between you and Pacquiao, or what do you feel like your future will hold?
I didn't hear that last part.
What do you think about your future? Do you feel Pacquiao rematch, or where do you see yourself going next?
Well, like I said, I mean, if a rematch is something he wants, then I'm with it. I still think this was big for boxing, and yeah, I mean, I'm still proud. I'm still holding the title. If not, maybe we're still gonna move on, to the next best thing.
Questions for Mario Barrios.
Mario, ¿esperabas, de este lado para Sports Boxing, esperabas el ritmo que traía al final de la pelea de Manny Pacquiao? ¿Esperabas que siguiera tirando tantos golpes y tan activo como lo vimos?
Mario, were you expecting Pacquiao to be... Yeah, so the question is, Mario, were you expecting Pacquiao to be as sharp, as quick, and as decisive as we saw him be?
Yeah, I prepared, for the best Pacquiao, and but he's still tricky in there. He still has so much experience, and he showed that tonight, and it was a really good learning experience for me, and I'm still proud of everything I was able to do.
Gail Faulkner on My Fights. This is a question for Bob. What were you telling Mario as you got to those last 3 championship rounds? You must have been urging him forward. And Mario, the second part is, what messages were you hearing from Bob that gave you those last 3 rounds?
Well, first off, I know we're going against an icon, right? And so the crowd's with him. I knew he was trying to steal rounds in the last, 10, 15, 20 seconds. And a lot of times when the crowd gets going, people get influenced, and you just don't know what the judges, are looking at. What are they preferring? I thought we were ahead in the fight. I thought we were controlling the fight with the jab. But I just wanted him to make sure that we closed the show in those last 3 rounds, just to make sure that we left no doubt in anybody's mind. And unfortunately, the judges seen it the way they seen it. We came up with a draw. One judge had Mario winning the fight, obviously. And the other 2 judges seen it a draw. So, you know, we got to live with that. That's the way they seen it. But again, I think the crowd influenced the judges just maybe a little bit. That's my opinion. And he was trying to steal rounds. You know, he's a veteran. He's an icon. He's been there 60 fights. But I thought Mario did a great job in winning 10, 11, and 12. And I thought that ensured the win. But it is what it is, and hopefully we'll be on and we'll be able to do a rematch, because I think everybody would love to see Pacquiao again, and who the hell wouldn't want to see 2-time Al Azteca? It was a great performance, and we'll move forward from here.
All right, we got one more question from Mario Barrios, and then we'll bring up Manny Pacquiao. Last question from Mario.
Mohammed Mubarak with EURWeb.com. Could you tell us the moments throughout the fight that you thought maybe were challenging for you, more that you could have done to improve your performance?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, whenever, you know, I have a fight, you know, there's always things that, you know, I could have done better. There were certain adjustments, you know, that were difficult to make with him, and you know, his style. And I think, you know, that just, you know, goes with the experience that he has, you know, the styles, the fights that he has been in. Yeah, you know, he's a veteran, he's a legend, and yeah, you know, he was very tricky, you know, to try to find, you know, even though, you know, I was finding that like jab here and there, it was hard to follow up on punches, and yeah, you know, it definitely, he used his experience, and it was hard, you know, to find my rhythm, you know, early on, especially in those middle rounds.
All right, Mario, before we let you go, any